Hey everyone, back to my, oh my god, I prepped myself and I still got it wrong. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, M Sakura from the cast of season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Just thought I'd say that for any of you new drag queens out there. And welcome to my series called Digital Drag Mom. For all of you new baby queens out there, don't worry if you don't have a drag mother and you don't have anyone to guide you through this. I'm here and I'll be your digital drag mother. Suckle at my teat. Digital Drag Mother is a series where I teach you young fledgling drag queens just some quick tips and tricks, introduce you to the field of drag, and get you ready for the world and get you ready for bookings and all that other stuff. Today we are covering flexibility. And that could be flexibility in drag and flexibility outside of drag. Flexibility in many different places, whether you're performing or you're talking to another queen, ordering a wig. Flexibility is very, very important. We're gonna go over all the topics in detail, but before that, go ahead and like this video if you like this video. Comment down below if you're a new queen. Say hi, tell us what your name is, where you are from, how old are you, and have you performed yet? And of course, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications if you want more videos just like this, and if you want to see more Digital Drag Mom. And with that, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's talk about flexibility. Where is it important? Flexibility is really important if you are going to perform on stage or do any sort of kicking and bucking, if you're gonna be wearing heels, if you're gonna be moving for an extended period of time, flexibility really comes in handy. Flexibility is also really important when you are booking shows. Flexibility is also very important when you are picking songs for yourself. Flexibility is very important when you are creating your drag and creating your looks. So the first thing I'm gonna do is talk about flexibility outside of drag. So flexibility outside of drag is kind of just like flexibility in drag, and by that I mean you have to prepare, you have to stretch, and you have to be ready. You can't just jump into everything, you might hurt yourself, okay? So some of my tips that I have for flexibility outside of drag: have bread and butter songs. And by bread and butter songs, what does that mean? I mean, have songs that you are able to perform, that you know all the lyrics to, that you know your dances, what you're gonna do to them. Have bread and butter songs that you absolutely know for certain that you can perform. Having bread and butter songs is really important because if you are doing multiple shows, if you're booked for the weekend, if you're booked at a club, it's different than being booked at a brunch, which is different being booked at a bar. You have to be able to have songs that you can perform well anywhere and for any situation. For example, sometimes you'll be in a bar. Like back home, we have a bar called Monster Show. Shout out to the Monster Show. That's one of the first places that I performed in San Francisco. And the bar, like the performance stage, is really, really, really small. It's very small. It's kind of like your vagina, mama. But the stage at Monster Show is very small. I would say maybe at most it's like 3 by 3. So, and you're a little bit high up. So you want to be able to have songs that you can perform in a small space where you don't have to run around, that doesn't have too much choreography, where you can just kind of park and bark, sit and focus and just get your lyrics out. On the contrary, there's another bar in San Francisco called Aunt Charlie's, and they have a show there called High Fantasy. But in that space, it is a dark bar, there is no stage, and you walk throughout the bar through the aisles. So you wanna make sure that it's gonna be different than a park and bark. It's gonna be different than just sitting in one place and doing your lip syncs. So you wanna make sure that you have a number that you can just like walk, grab tips to, walk, grab tips to, explore the bar. And of course you wanna have numbers that will really have different ranges. And by that, I mean, have a number that is high energy, you could have a number that's emotional, you can have a number that is stupid and silly, you can have a number that's messy. If you have lots of different numbers that you can pull out from your arsenal, then you will be able to adapt to any situation and any booking that you might get. For flexibility, you wanna have songs that are age appropriate. You wanna have songs that can be like for clubs and performances that could be for all ages, like no swearing or nothing sexual, because sometimes you perform at Pride and there's a lot of people there, or you perform at like a brunch and those are usually all ages and you can have young people go. So just keep that in mind, bear that in mind. Of course, too, I'm not saying don't compromise your drag. I'm just saying it'll be nice to have the options. Another thing about flexibility I want to talk about is outfits. Now, what about outfits? I want you to look at your drag repertoire, look at the things that you have in drag, and think about your performance style. If you've never performed in an outfit before, my advice to you is take your outfit, wear it, and practice your song at least once or twice, because the things that you're planning to do might not translate. How many times have girls gone like this in their rehearsals? They go, whee! And then in their outfits, they can only go like this. And it does not look the same. You wanna make sure that your outfits themselves have flexibility and that you're able to perform in them. Always have like a good dance outfit on hand, and stretch fabric is going to be your best friend. Especially if you're like new, like baby in drag. Definitely stretch fabric is going to be your best friend, and you won't screw up as much shit when you're making it or performing in it. And the last piece of advice I have for you being flexible outside of drag is be able to perform anywhere in a lineup. And what does that mean? It means that you can open a show, it means that you can end a show, and you can be in the middle somewhere. Now, some people might say that this isn't important, the order in which you perform, but it is very different sometimes. So if you are setting the stage and you are the beginning performer, you are the first act, and you know you're gonna be the first act, or you feel it in your bones, you want to set the stage and you want to have a big dynamic energy. You want to make people be like, yes, you know what? I was gonna vote against drag queens and their rights before, but now I am totally an ally. That's the kind of impact you want to have. If you're going last, you still want to have that impact, but it should be different than other performers as well. So maybe like something that only you can bring, something that is dynamic and that isn't boring. I hate to tell you this, but if they put you in the middle somewhere, you might suck. Just think about it. If you're being put in the middle of the performance, just think about your performances and how you can spice them up. I'm not saying you're bad, but I'm saying take a look. Okay, now let's get into what everyone clicked on this video for. Let's talk about flexibility in drag, AKA how I got to my splits. We're gonna be talking about flexibility and stretching, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I stretch day to day before I perform in drag, and the stretches that I do so I don't hurt myself. Oh. It's like, honey, I shrunk the kids down here. Okay, now I like to crawl like a worm. Oh my God, that was so informative. Remember, if you ever have to get ready for a show and you can't remember the stretches, just click on this video again, look it up, do the stretches with me. It'll be easy peasy, and it'll really, really, really help your movement on stage. Trust me. Okay, another thing I want to talk about flexibility-wise inside of drag is make sure you are flexible in your arms, especially if you're not a splitting girl. Now, what does that mean? I'm talking about strong arms. You gotta have strong arms, not like strong muscle-wise, strong arms when you're performing. These are weak arms, okay? Strong arms are more dynamic. It's gonna feel a little bit weird when you're performing it. It's gonna feel like you're really overdoing it, but strong arms look so much better. So like, strong arms out there and up and up. Full rotation, you want full movement. When you're pointing, don't just point, go point over there. If you're doing like a leg kick, if you're doing a high kick, you make sure you better have that flexibility. So your high kick is high, okay? It's gotta be high. No weak hands. If you have weak hands, it's not good storytelling. You wanna have strong hands, dynamic. A good practice to have, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing it, is if you perform, take a look at your performance and see how you can improve. I'm sure you're totally feeling your oats and you're like,
oh my God, it's the best performance ever.
Have a person that hates you, absolutely hates you. Watch your video and say, what can I do better? That's why I have Cash watch my videos all the time. And then she says, and she's right. My advice to you is strong arms, take a look at your videos and see where you can improve dynamically, okay? Well, I mean, if you want me to like laugh at you in my head, by all means. please continue to have weak arms. I'm thinking of some performers and I can't say it, but okay, another place you want to have flexibility is going to be your chest, your hips, and your abs. So everywhere in your midsection. So all of those midsection stretches that I showed you are going to be very important for you performing. Flexibility right here is important if you're not wearing any corsets. It helps you be more sensual. It really helps you avoid back problems. If you have stretched hips, you have stretched abs, and you have stretched chests, then I would say your performances can be a lot more dynamic. The movements will feel a lot more flowy, and you'll be less sore when you perform. Okay, let's talk about splits. What are they? How can I get there? How did you learn how to stretch? Step number one that I did when I learned how to stretch was I did a lot of research beforehand about stretching. Now, before drag, I had never been to a dance class. I had never been in gymnastics. I had never been in ballet, none of that. So I didn't know how to stretch my body properly in order to get the splits, you know? So do your research. The way that I found out how to do my splits was 8-year-old Russian girls on YouTube. They know how to stretch and they know how to tell you how to get into a split, okay? Whatever stretches they're doing, try it as hard as you can to do it. Number two, make sure that you are warmed up before you do your stretches so that you can push yourself a little bit further whenever you do it. And by that I mean you can't go in cold turkey right into a split, right into that, especially if you're new, because you could hurt yourself. So make sure you are properly warming up your body and then doing your stretches. My third tip to you guys is when you're doing your stretches, resistance is key. So when you get into your stretches, make sure you push against your stretch. Like, let's say like you're doing your split right here, okay? Just like this. These are my legs. I'm going down. I'm flexing my muscles and I'm pushing down against the floor as much as I can, as hard as I can, and then relaxing. Resistance is going to be key. It's going to help you go farther and farther and farther. My suggestion to you too is practice your splits before you get on stage and record yourself, because nobody likes a crunchy split. Crunchy splits on Drag Race, and they're crunchy for a reason, okay? The main things that are going to make your splits crunchy or not: 1, make them fast, or 2, make them go to the tempo of your song. 3, don't look down when you're doing your split like you have to look at your legs. Like, oh, am I doing it right? Don't do that. Also, if you're doing a split too, make sure you can go down all the way. If you don't go down all the way, people will look at you and be like,
well, that was a great almost split. You know, that's A for effort. Can I try this $1.50 to tipper? Okay, yeah, there we go. Half of it. Yeah, halfway there.
The last piece of advice I would give for you on flexibility anywhere, flexibility out of drag, in drag, is time. Time and practice is key for you to understand how to become flexible in your numbers, flexible in the way that you perform, flexible in your splits, flexible in your dips. It will take time and it will take patience. Don't rush yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Your knees are your friends, okay? Oh, and if you are a baby queen out there, don't jump on your knees. Just don't do it. Because 1, it doesn't look good. It's like, when you jump on your knees, we don't go, whoa, that was amazing. We go, damn, she's stupid. And 2, you're gonna hurt yourself. So don't jump on your knees. Just don't. Put it right here, exclamation. Don't jump on your knees. Mama says so. Okay, guys, that was Digital Drag Mother. I am M Sakura. I am your digital drag mother, all of you beautiful, amazing baby drag queens. I want to make sure that you guys are staying safe and you guys are not hurting yourselves, so please make sure you're doing your stretching before you do anything crazy. Don't jump on your knees. And comment down below, how did you learn how to do the splits, or what exercises are you doing to learn? Or is there any advice that you would give to other queens about flexibility? And make sure to like this video if at any point I helped you in your process, in your journey of stretching. And make sure to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications so you can be notified every time we upload and we have a new digital drag mom. Last but not least, if you'd like to support this channel, please make sure to become a patron on Patreon. There is a link in the description down below. And of course, thank you to all of my amazing and beautiful patrons on Patreon. You guys help make this channel possible. I love you guys so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Shout out to all of my rock stars. Mwah! I love you guys. And with that, I'm going to say, talk to you later. Bye.